G'day, I'm John Ford for Caravan World, and I've got James Field, so General Manager, Market Direct Group. And this is a new project for you.
It is, John.
Yep.
Correct. Yeah. So Gold Class Caravans, we officially launched the brand in June this year, which is very, very exciting. But as you know, Market Direct Group has been around since 2005, so nearly 20 years.
Yep. So this is quite different to what you've already done. Why have you brought out this sort of caravan now?
Yeah. So as you know, we've been doing off-road caravans for some time. Learn a lot during that journey, but what we noticed is there was a real opportunity for something in that premium space that just made sense, that was easy, transparent in terms of pricing, but everything came standard inside. So, you know, your pricing was very, very simple.
Okay, so you've got two ranges, the off-road and the touring version.
Mm-hmm.
What's in the off-roader that doesn't go into the touring van?
So the way in which we set up Gold Class Caravans was to try and make the entire process as simple as possible, transparent and easy for the customers to understand. So with that, and to your point, we have two classes. We have the Adventure class, which is the off-road, which is the one we're standing here with today, as well as our Luxe or touring class. So we have those two classes. In terms of what makes them different, there's a lot of key differences in terms of the two classes. So first of all, it's around capability. So the Adventure class is our genuine off-road unit. You can take these basically anywhere. You can take your car, you can take this caravan, and then the touring one is a semi-off-road product. So the key differences are we run airbag suspension on our Adventure class models, significantly more solar on the roof, way more battery capacity, a bigger inverter. It comes with Gusto DRS, it comes with additional boxes, service ladders, max tracks recovery boards, fridge slides. It comes with a lot more in the Adventure class.
Yeah.
But that's not for absolutely everyone, so that's why we also developed the touring range or the Luxe class as well.
Yeah, fair enough. So the Adventure, it's an off-roader, and you've partnered with Airbag Man. This is your first foray into airbags, I think, isn't it?
It is.
Tell me how the relationship with Airbag Man worked so that you could make this an off-roader.
Sure. So yeah, you're 100% right. It is our first time doing airbags as standard on any of our ranges. It was a really, really great journey for us. We learned a lot through that. And the reason we partnered with Airbag Man is, in my belief, they're the best in the business when it comes to airbags for caravans. They've been doing it for a very, very long time. So we wanted to partner at the beginning to understand how to integrate it. How did our suspension arm design need to change or alter or be optimized to ensure that airbags worked well on there. They also helped us with all different things in terms of the engineering and positioning, to the point where we actually had the guys from Airbag Man Australia come with us to our manufacturing facility in China and work through this project with us together.
Yeah. Let's talk about your manufacturing facility in China. Right? I understand it's pretty big, and you've been doing the same thing with them for a long while. Well,
Mm-hmm.
They've been building caravans
Yes.
for a long while. I think that they're a dedicated factory for your product. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah. And how many people actually work there?
Yeah. So in our China factory, we have about 480 staff.
Yeah.
From a Market Direct group perspective in Australia, we have around 150 staff, and that's across 7 showrooms nationwide, service and warranty divisions, head office, 2 assembly plants, which is 1 in Perth and 1 in Brisbane. So between the two, we're certainly not small by any measure.
Okay. And so how do you manage quality control? In China, a long way away, but how do you manage quality control?
Yeah, so I think the exclusive partnership helps with that a lot. There's an immense amount of trust in that partnership and commitment to one another. We've had that commitment for a long time. As we spoke earlier, John, we were actually the first brand to build a hybrid caravan in China in 2013. So we've been doing it a long time. So we've learned a lot along that space. We also have a lot of commitment around staff going to our factory from Australia over to China regularly, sometimes every month.
Yep.
And that's been going on for well over 10 years. So around that, we've learnt a lot, but also we've set up significant processes both in our China factory, but also in our assembly facilities, and both Market Direct Group and our China manufacturing facility are both ISO 9001 certified. So doing that provides that more formal framework for the businesses to create those systems and processes to ensure some consistent quality.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I see from the sign on the outside, it's an aluminium frame.
Correct.
Talk me through the process. How is this van built? Aluminium frame, is it welded or riveted? How's it built?
It is, yeah. So it's a welded aluminium frame for the sides, obviously an aluminium frame for the roof as well. In terms of the panelling, so on the outside panel, as you can see here, that's a polyethylene core aluminium composite panel. We've got our checker plate sides. As you can see, John, probably different to some of the other style of vans you'd see, you can't see any panel joins on our Caravan here. Now that's because we order our composite panel in the correct size. So it doesn't matter if we're standing in front of our 16-footer or our 19-footer, it is one solid piece. And as you know, if you can minimize those joins in the Caravans, it also minimizes the risk of water ingress. Same with our checker plate, no joins at all. In terms of the internal sheeting, we use an internal ply as well.
Yeah. So you mentioned water ingress, and you know, I mean, this is a pretty typical Australian built van now: aluminium frame, aluminium checker plate, and the composite wall. How do you stop water getting in there? Is anything special that you do?
So we have a twofold process for this. We have a rain room in our China facility that every single unit passes through that. And then on the Australian side, as you know, we do a little bit of assembly in Australia too. So there's some elements there that we need to monitor and control. So as well as that, we then do our testing on the Australian side as well. We choose to use Seeker where we can. So I'm sure you're familiar with the brand Seeker Flex, which is expensive, but it's good. It's very, very good for that automotive application. And as you can see, there's certainly a lot there, but that's for a very, very specific reason, not just for water, John, but also for things like dust ingress, as you know, and you've done a lot of traveling in your lifetime. Dust can get into some significant places. So it's kind of a twofold sealing strategy for us.
Yeah. I like the look of it. It's got that real Australian four-wheel drive off-road sort of impression. And you know, you've standardised on the colours. This is what you get.
Correct.
So the interior is two-tone grey and white.
Correct.
And the exterior is this silvery colour.
Yes.
Yeah. So good idea. I mean, that keeps the cost down. Everybody knows where they are. And, you know, your model of keeping it simple, keeping it cheap as possible and offering as much as possible, that seems like a pretty good option for me. And it seems to have all the ingredients of a proper four-wheel drive. I mean, a heavy-duty off-road chassis, you know, galvanised chassis.
Yes.
Got your DA35. I like the design of this big box up front, and that's only in this classic. It's not on the MDCs. This is new.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Huge amount of storage in there. I really like that. These seals, I noticed them when I was opening them before. They're really nice and tight, aren't they?
They are.
You know, I mean, really good job on the rubber sealing, particularly on these hatches. You know, where it's actually a triple seal, I think.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And you're 100% correct there. So when we're talking about the box, John, and we were speaking about our China manufacturing facility a little earlier, the thing that's fantastic with our partnership with them is the fact that we have the flexibility to make basically anything we need. We're not stuck to a supplier who can make 10 variants of something. When we have a design or an idea for a toolbox, this is exactly how we modeled it and designed it. And it's to optimize the shape of the front and to provide the aesthetic, but more importantly, provides significant storage.
Yeah.
And that flows on to, we make in-house our fridge slides, we make in-house our kitchens, which we'll have a look at in a minute. But in terms of our seals, as you said, and rightly so, it's actually a triple seal door design. So we make this in-house as well. This extrusion here, we bend from scratch. That means that we have the flexibility to make a hatch any shape we want. So we can optimize the design of the Caravan to suit that rather than having to fit into the rigid framework of a supplier that maybe they have 10 sizes of hatches.
Yep.
So the triple seal design is fantastic because of dust, as we know. It's an off-road caravan, and coupled with the triple seal, we've also got the compression locking mechanism. So as you shut it, it brings that in and really squishes those seals. And
then you've got the slide-out kitchen, and
yes.
It's a pretty standard setup. I mean, that works. You've got your 3-burner, and you've got your stainless steel sink. It's a really, really good model. I mean, people like an outdoor cooking, especially under an electric awning.
For sure.
Get out there really quickly and pack it away quickly if things turn nasty. But yeah, that really works, I think.
Yeah. Again, so the whole carcass is made in-house by us, optimised for the design and the shape of the Caravan. The cooktop itself is a Thetford 3-burner gas cooktop, and you've got a hot and cold plug and sink as well. You've also got the additional slide-out area for food preparation or whatever you need to do.
Yeah, no, it's a good setup. And then the Aussie Traveller door, I mean, they're really good, they're strong, and the seals on them, again, they're really, you know, they're as good as you're going to get for keeping dust out. And this idea I really like. You know, it's a great little feature, isn't it?
It's the little things,
bin.
and we spoke about this when we were going through the van earlier. Is we've tried to implement as much as we've learned over the years and put all these little things in that we're actually starting to notice now the customers really pick up on. At Market Direct Group, we're not just selling caravans, we design them here in Australia, and we do it through experience of our staff actually living and breathing the product.
That's the way to go. Here's the controller for the Airbag Man. So
Yes.
it's got an automatic levelling for when you're travelling, and then you can move it up and down, you know, as you suit to level the van.
You can. And we can't do it now, unfortunately, John, because we've got the legs down, but grab the remote,
Yep.
you grab your smartphone, which will have the Simarine app on there, which has a built-in inclinometer mode on there. So you can basically fiddle around, use that on your phone and level your van out on, because this is an off-road caravan, you might be pulled up somewhere that's not level. Fantastic feature. Also another quite cool thing when it comes to airbags, notwithstanding the performance, but when you pull up at site, you can bring them down as low as you can. So it actually makes it easier to get into the caravan.
Yeah,
very,
that's a
very
good
handy.
idea. And if you've got water crossings, you can lift it up, you know, temporarily,
Yep.
take it off the automatic setting and go through the water. It's
You're
a really
100%
good idea.
correct.
Yep.
So this also doubles as an entertainment hatch, John. So you can come and put your TV on the outside of here. You've got full power here, both 12 volt and 240 volt. And of course, it's going to be off grid, 240 through the inner drive inverter.
And it looks pretty classy down the back here. That carbon fibre decal looks fantastic,
Looks
doesn't
pretty
it?
good, doesn't
yeah.
it?
Adds a bit of class,
Yep.
the Gold Class. Great big wheel up there, easy to get at. I really like the ladder. You know, I mean, getting up on the roof and cleaning the solar panels is important, but it's very difficult if you haven't got a ladder, and quite dangerous as well.
Exactly.
And this storage box, that's a ripper, isn't it? I mean, that's I like to carry half a dozen fishing rods with me when I go, and
Yes.
keeping them safe and out of the road, it's quite a bit of a challenge sometimes, but that's a really good idea.
Yeah, you're right. So that was exactly the idea behind the Elite storage bar, was exactly that. If you've got long annex poles, anti-flap kits, fishing rods, you can either feed them in either of the ends,
Yep.
John, or you can open up this end panel, which as you can see is almost as full length as we can do, other than accounting for our tail lights,
Yep.
and feed stuff in there. So very, very handy to have, I agree.
Yeah, no, it's a really good setup, that. Got to say, I'm impressed with the electronics. I mean, an inner drive system is pretty good, isn't it?
Absolutely.
What's involved there apart from the 3,000 watt inverter?
Yeah, so we've got the 3,000 watt inverter, we've got 600 amps of Energive lithium battery power, and they're the Gen 3 Energive batteries, so the newest in their range, as well as the 700 watts of rooftop solar, MPPT solar controllers from Energive, DC-DC chargers. So yeah, the whole system is Energive, and as you've seen today, the aircon runs perfectly off grid, which has been good because it's hot today.
Yeah, no, that's impressive. And you know, from what I see, the way that the wiring's been executed is really neat. It's very, very well done.
Yeah, thank you, John. I mean, this comes around this whole standardization thing we talk about, and not optioning, is because we design it to be like that from day one in the design process. We've got the ability to standardize and make things as neat as possible.
Yeah.
So we're not dealing with those challenges around customization.
Yeah. So back here we've got the water setup. You've got the grey tanks and two freshwater tanks. What you said before about little things that impress people, I really like the fact that the drain for the grey water tank, it's easily accessible. It's got a big tap on it, but it's on a bungee cord, so you can drop it down to drain it easier. But it's got that shield, you know, which not many people think about, because I've seen so many of those be damaged on the track. You know?
Exactly.
So little things mean a lot, and I think that you've thought about that, as you have with a lot of things in this van.
For sure. And I guess even further to that point, John, like the amount of vans you see where you've got fillers, but it's very unclear as to which tank's which. We laser cut the names into each, so you know very, very clearly what you're doing. When we're talking about the grey water tanks, we actually provide like a dedicated grey water flush. So you can put a hose in, open it up, flush it out, because as we all know, over time, they do get a little bit smelly. So you're exactly right. It's all those little things that we try to put in from day one that make a huge difference around the usability of the product.
Yeah. Let's have a look inside, mate.
Sounds good?
You said I'd be surprised about the amount of space in here, and like for a 16-foot van, it's impressive, isn't it? When you compare like a Millard of 20 years ago, what was in them, to what's in this van now, it's quite amazing what you've done with it.
I agree.
And look, without running the fact that it's an imported van down, it looks sensational. There's nothing in here that you'd go, well, that looks dodgy. There's no, the stitching is really nice. The cupboards are really well built. The waterfall cupboard, the timber, I really like that. And I know that this is the only colour you can get, but I'd be surprised if people don't, like this colour choice. It's modern, and it's gonna last, isn't it? This grey on grey. It looks great.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I guess, intention around what we do, because we're aware that we don't do the optioning and customizing, which gives us so much freedom in terms of what we do as a business. But also, when you do that, we put a serious amount of time and effort and thought into exactly that. What's the colour scheme is going to be? And I agree with you. I think that the colour scheme and the interior in general is very well executed.
Yeah.
And you talk about being an imported van. I think one of the key differences here is, from a market direct group perspective, our team completely design all of these caravans. So that's why you can see these elements that it's very, very hard to pick.
Yeah. And look, there's no compromises on the quality of the appliances. You've got the Dometic air conditioner, induction cooktop, and you've got your Thetford oven. I reckon that's a really good thing to have when you're on the road.
Sure.
The NCE microwave, that's a good product.
Mm-hmm.
Big fridge.
Yeah.
Thetford again, I think.
Yes, correct.
And in the bathroom, you've got that. It's a washer dryer, which is sort of a new concept for me, and that's a great idea.
For sure.
So everything looks great, and the quality of the appliances, there's no compromise with it, I think.
No, exactly. And that's why when we did this, and the whole premium made possible premise for the brand is we've aligned with the best suppliers, the best parts, all as standard out of the box.
Like everything, and the way things have developed with the imported vans, the Australian industry's, they're going to have to start thinking about some more innovation, I think, and doing things a bit better and differently to keep up or ahead. This bed looks a little bit small at the moment, but you said that it actually folds out.
It does.
How far does it come?
Yeah, so it would come out, John, maybe about 200-300 mil at least here. Yeah. And the reason for that is, so during the day, you push it back, you pull your bolster up, you push the bed back.
Yeah.
That gives you full walk through from your entry door here.
Yep.
And then at night time, you can fold it down. At the same time, you obviously fold away your bench extension here. So you've got great walk through here as well.
Yeah, I think, adequate seating there for a couple, and that table, that is really cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
We always go back to this discussion around it's the little things, but it's things like that make the user experience better. Maybe you've got some kids and you need to lower the table.
Yeah.
You can certainly get the manual versions of those, but there's an element of fiddling around with this. And I mean, what we've done here, at a touch of a button, you can very, very easily adjust the height.
So up here you've got all the electronics readouts, and even got a Submarine screen, which is, from my time in the maritime game, they had a really good name, Submarine. So it's great to see them in here. Everything that you want to know is there.
Exactly. And the good thing about that too, John, so you can flick through the screens. The home page tells you very, very simply, how much power have I got? How long until I'm flat? How much charge am I getting? You can go through, learn some details on how much solar you got coming in, what's your power consumption. But the beauty of it too, it pairs very, very well with the app as well. So not only can you see it on the screen there very clearly, you can be outside, look through, and in real time know, because as an off-grid off-road caravan, power consumption and power usage is critical. So if you know how to use that, you can optimize that and stay off grid for days at end.
That just about wraps it up, I think, mate. It is an impressive van. I think it's gonna really shake up the market, I think. This one, how much is it?
114,990, so 115,000.
Yeah, and so what you see is what you get with it. The spec sheet's all there. 114. This is what you get. There's no options, and that's why the price is where it is, to keep it that price. Yeah,
exactly.
Thanks, James. Thanks for showing me around. It's been great. And that's me for Caravan World. Thanks for watching.